Tired of chasing a paycheck that steals your life? This deep dive maps 5 overlooked careers that pay well and protect your work-life balance, protecting wealth from taxes and legal traps, rewiring money habits, and insulating families from risk. We'll outline day-to-day work, realistic pay bands, and the smart path to credentials like CPA, CFP, JD. No hype, just sustainable options.
Okay, so when you close your eyes and picture, like, high-paying finance jobs, what comes to mind?
Oh, definitely the stereotypes, right? Investment banking, maybe private equity.
Right.
Wall Street.
Exactly. Flashing lights, big numbers. And the salaries, I mean, they are huge. You hear about entry-level folks pulling down $200,000 or even more.
It sounds amazing on paper.
Right. But let's get real about the trade-off. I mean,
Yeah.
Our sources are just full of these stories, the golden handcuffs.
80, maybe 100-hour work weeks. Insane pressure.
Yeah, constant travel. And this culture that almost celebrates burning out before you even hit 30. It's like high income, sure, but at the cost of your actual life.
And that's where we're seeing a real shift, especially, with millennials and Gen Z, the whole conversation online, on Reddit, places like that. It's less about just grabbing the absolute biggest paycheck possible. It's more about career sustainability.
Work-life balance, right? WLB.
Exactly, WLB. They want the good income, no doubt, but they actually want a life to, enjoy it. They want both.
Makes total sense. So that's what this deep dive is all about today. We're looking at these really underrated high-paying jobs, specifically in personal and household finance.
Yeah, roles that, routinely pay well into 6 figures. Think $80,000 minimum, often pushing $150,000, sometimes way more.
But they offer a path that's, sustainable, away from that Wall Street burnout machine.
And a big reason they're underrated. It often comes down to the client side, believe it or not, an information gap.
How so?
Well, most people who are starting to build some wealth, they just think, okay, I need a financial advisor. One generalist.
Right, the person who does a bit of everything.
Exactly. They don't realize there are these hyper-specialized pros out there who solve one really complex problem incredibly well. They just think, I don't know what I need, so they default to the general advisor.
Okay, yeah, I see that. So if you're listening and you've ever felt that career burnout kind of creeping in.
Or maybe you're starting to accumulate some assets and realizing, I need help that's beyond just basic budgeting.
Then definitely stick with us. We're going to start right where the money already is.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to protect your wealth from taxes and those tricky legal pitfalls.
Makes sense. Got to protect what you've built.
Okay, first category. The specialists who protect and optimize the money after you've earned it. These are like the non-negotiables.
Sub up, bell on, and vibe with me to the end.
If you're serious about building assets or, dealing with passing wealth down.
And first up, probably the most foundational one, the estate planning specialist or attorney.
Okay, the legal eagles.
Pretty much. They're the architects, legally speaking.
Yeah.
They plan how your assets get distributed, figure out how to minimize inheritance taxes.
Setting up trusts and all that.
Exactly. Making sure all the legal documents are buttoned up so your wishes are followed without some massive, messy legal battle after you're gone.
And the pay reflects that heavy lifting, right? We're seeing, $90,000 to $150,000 a year, often higher.
Easily higher if they're independent consultants or partners in a firm, yeah. And what's wild is how reactive people are about this.
I think they wait until it's too late.
Totally. We saw this one comment. It was heartbreaking. I never even thought about this stuff until my parents passed away. And then we spent 2 years struggling with all the legal procedures.
Oh, man.
And they finished with, I just wish someone had told me sooner. That's exactly the pain these specialists prevent.
So a general financial advisor might not cut it here.
They might draft a basic will, maybe. But a real estate planning specialist, they're using sophisticated tools. They might recommend something like
Subscribe, ring the bell, and drop your favorite recipe below.
Annihilate an irrevocable life insurance trust.
Okay, that sounds complicated.
It is. It's a specific legal structure to hold life insurance outside your taxable estate. That kind of niche knowledge, that's what can save a client hundreds of thousands, literally, and keep them out of probate court.
Wow. Okay, so that specialized knowledge, does it always mean you need a full law degree?
Yeah.
A JD? Because that's a huge time and money commitment.
It often does, yeah. I mean, a certified financial planner, a CFP, especially one with deep tax experience, can handle some basic trusts.
But for the really complex stuff,
For the really complex inheritance law, minimizing estate taxes significantly, the legal background is usually essential. The sources definitely suggest that the JD, while it's a big investment up front, is what really unlocks the highest fees and legal authority in this specific niche.
gotcha. Okay, so moving from protecting assets way down the line to protecting them, like right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk tax strategist or consultant.
Yes, and super important here. We need to draw a really clear line. This is not your regular accountant who just, plugs your W-2 numbers into software.
Right, not the person you see once a year in April.
Exactly. Think of the regular CPA like a historian. They're recording what happened last year. The tax strategist, they're more like a military planner for your finances.
Smash that subscribe, ring the bell, and stick around now. More is coming.
Okay, I like that analogy. Proactive.
Totally proactive. They're engineering your tax situation for the year ahead.
Yeah.
They develop these complex but totally legal strategies for high earners or small business owners.
Do what exactly?
Yeah.
Minimize taxes.
To legally minimize tax obligations, yeah. Through things like smart investment timing, the right business structure, really optimizing everything within the law.
Can you give us an example? Like, how is that different from just, finding more deductions?
Oh, it's way beyond that. It's about structuring income flow. So for someone earning a lot, a strategist might say, hey, let's look at setting up a defined benefit plan, a DBP.
Which is?
It's a type of retirement plan, kind of like a pension, that allows you to shelter way more income from taxes each year, often 6 figures more than you could with just a standard 401k.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the kind of advanced planning that really needs that deep knowledge. Usually you're looking at someone with a CPA, a certified public accountant, or maybe an EAA, an enrolled agent credential.
And because that expertise saves clients potentially huge amounts of money.
The earning potential for the strategist is also huge. You're easily looking at $90,000, and it can climb way up past $180,000, even more depending on who they're working with.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about protecting money legally, from taxes, from estate issues. But what about protecting your money? Well, from yourself.
Ah, the human element. This is where finance gets really interesting, where it meets psychology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next role, the behavioral finance specialist.
And honestly, I think this is really the future of personalized financial advice. It's gaining so much traction.
So what do they actually do?
They basically apply psychological principles to help people understand and, more importantly, overcome the common money biases that trip us all up.
You mean things like loss aversion. That feeling where losing $100 hurts way more than getting $100 feels good.
That's a classic one. Or confirmation bias, where you only look for news that confirms your belief that your favorite stock is going to go to the moon.
Huh. Yeah, we're all guilty of that sometimes.
Totally. And a behavioral finance specialist helps you recognize and counteract those things. They bridge the gap between knowing you should save more or invest differently and actually doing it.
We saw this user comment that was just so spot on. It was like, I always knew I should save more, but just couldn't. I need someone to help me figure out why I procrastinate and how to really change.
That why is exactly what they tackle.
Okay, but how? Does it get really theoretical? Like, are they therapists?
Not exactly therapists, but they use practical techniques. So to fight that confirmation bias we mentioned, they might make the client formally write out or model what happens if their favorite stock actually drops by 50%.
Ouch. Forcing them to face the downside.
Precisely. It makes you confront the emotional attachment, the assumptions you've made. It helps neutralize that bias by looking at the cold, hard possibilities. They connect economic theory, what we should do, with our psychological reality, what we actually tend to do.
That sounds incredibly valuable. What kind of background do these folks usually have?
Often it's economics, psychology, or finance. But specialized certifications in behavioral finance are becoming, a really big advantage in this field. It's definitely a growing niche.
Okay, sticking with the human side, but maybe a bit more concrete, what about managing future uncertainty, risk?
Right. That brings us to the risk management and insurance analyst or consultant.
Sounds a little dry, maybe. Insurance.
It might sound dry, but think about it. It's absolutely critical for long-term peace of mind.
Okay, sell me on it.
Well, this person looks at all the potential financial risks for an individual or maybe as a small business, things like liability getting sued, or premature death, disability, a fire destroying your property.
The big, scary what-ifs.
Exactly. And then they recommend very specific, tailored insurance policies or other strategies to mitigate those risks. They're basically making sure that one terrible event doesn't completely wipe out everything else. You've built everything the estate planner and tax strategist helped set up.
Ah, okay, so they're like the financial safety net specialist.
That's a great way to put it. And it's a solid career path, good stability, generally really good work-life balance compared to, say, Wall Street.
And the pay is strong, too.
Yeah, typically in that $80,000 to $130,000 plus range. Squarely in that six-figure zone we're talking about without the killer hours.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Let's pivot to a role that feels incredibly relevant right now. It's basically born out of a huge financial crisis affecting millions, especially younger Americans.
You have to be talking about student loans.
Bingo. The student loan advisor or strategist.
Yeah, the demand for this is just massive right now. You've got this colossal student loan debt situation in the U.S. affecting, tens of millions of people.
It's staggering. So what makes this a specialized role? Isn't it just like any other debt advisor?
Oh, not at all. Student loans are unique. They have their own super complex set of rules. Think about consolidation options, refinancing, all the different income-driven repayment plans.
And the forgiveness programs. It's a maze.
It's an absolute maze. Public service loan forgiveness, teacher loan forgiveness, dozens of federal and state programs. This advisor focuses purely on helping individuals navigate that specific labyrinth.
So it's highly technical counseling.
Very technical and often pretty emotional, too, because the debt levels can be overwhelming. It's all about finding the best path to managing or resolving that specific type of debt.
Okay. Does it require like a specific degree or certification?
It requires intense specialization in student loan rules, but the barrier to entry might be a little lower than, say, needing a law degree for estate planning. Specific certifications are emerging, though.
And the salary range?
Generally, we see figures around $70,000 to maybe $110,000 per year. But honestly, given how many people need this help, a really good independent consultant could easily charge significant fees and earn quite a bit more.
Right. The demand is definitely there. Okay, so we've covered 5 really interesting, potentially lucrative niches that aren't the typical Wall Street grind.
Yeah, some great options.
But we definitely need a reality check here, right?
Yeah.
Before anyone hears 6 figures and thinks this is some kind of easy money shortcut.
Absolutely. Let's be clear. These are sustainable, well-paying careers, yes, but they require serious dedication and knowledge. The difference isn't necessarily the difficulty of the work compared to investment banking. It's often the hours and the type of pressure.
You still need the chops.
You absolutely still need the chops. You need credentials. We saw sources emphasizing this again and again. Getting a Maverick credential, like that CPA we mentioned, it's often called a golden ticket for your career.
A golden ticket how?
Well, the intensive study and the credential itself can lead to significantly higher lifetime earnings. One estimate suggested up to $1 million more over a career compared to peers without the certification.
Wow, $1 million.
Yeah. That specialized knowledge, it builds a protective moat around your salary and, importantly, your work-life balance. It makes you highly valuable.
That's a huge ROI on getting certified. Okay, but beyond the technical skills, the credentials, there's something else, right?
Yeah.
Especially for roles like behavioral finance or even the student loan advisor.
Oh, definitely. The secret weapon, soft skills.
Communication, empathy.
Exactly. Just knowing the tax code inside out or understanding psychological biases in theory, that's not enough. You're dealing directly with people's biggest financial fears, their hopes, their anxieties.
You have to connect.
You have to connect. You need to be able to take really complex, information-dense legal stuff, confusing loan options, psychological concepts, and explain it simply. And, this is crucial, you need to master what some call financial storytelling.
Financial storytelling, what's that?
It's about linking the dry numbers and the jargon to a person's actual life, to their goals, their fears. Instead of just listing tax code sections, you say, look, if we set up this trust this way, it means your grandkids will have their education fully funded without any hitches.
I'm making it real. Human.
It's empathy backed by deep expertise. It's personalized coaching, really.
That makes sense. And we're seeing proof that people need this specialized help, right?
Yeah.
Based on who's looking for what.
Yeah, there's a pretty clear demographic split in interest. Gen Z, millennials, they show huge interest in student loan advising and behavioral finance.
Which fits perfectly, given where they are in life, dealing with debt, forming financial habits.
Exactly. And then you look at Gen X, older audiences. They're naturally more focused on tax strategists and estate planning.
Because their assets have grown things have gotten more complex legally and tax-wise over time.
Precisely. So these specialized roles, they aren't just some passing trend. They're meeting real, lifelong financial needs that evolve as people age.
Okay, so let's sort of wrap this up. The big takeaway from this whole deep dive seems pretty clear.
Yeah. What's your take?
Well, it's that getting paid well in finance doesn't have to mean signing your life away with those insane 100-hour weeks.
Definitely not.
The most sustainable routes to a really good six-figure income, they're often kind of hidden in these specialized niches, roles that value deep, personalized problem solving more than just like raw trading volume.
Well said. And the sheer demand for these specific roles proves something important, I think.
What's that?
That people are struggling, not just with earning money, but with all the complexities that come after you earn it, the psychology, the legal stuff, the taxes. They need expert guides, people who can navigate all that fine print.
Guides through the financial maze. So if you're listening and maybe thinking about a career change or just starting out,
You should be asking yourself, which certification might be my golden ticket? Is it the CPA, the CFP, maybe one of those newer behavioral finance designations? Which path leads to that sustainable, high-impact, six-figure job?
that leads to a really interesting final question for everyone listening. Think about this. If you could hire one of these specialists right now, money, no object.
Ooh, interesting prompt.
Yeah, someone who could either finally fix those lifelong money habits that keep tripping you up, or someone who could untangle your most complicated, maybe decade-long tax headache. Which problem would you pay top dollar, six figures maybe, to solve? And why?
That's a tough choice, because that choice probably reveals where you feel your biggest financial vulnerability lies, doesn't it?
Exactly, your biggest pain point.
We genuinely love to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments, which problem would you pay to fix? Or which of these underrated jobs sounded most interesting to you?
Yeah, definitely share your thoughts. Maybe you even work in one of these fields. Your experiences help us figure out what to dive into next. And hey, if you found this useful, maybe hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future deep dives.